Alex has got a nice story to start it off with. I think you're going to bang that story out, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I think it's a great starter.
We don't want to waste. It's a waste of money to us.
Yeah.
That's our perspective of it. Whereas for other people, it's not, and it's again, it's just that comparison.
Yeah,
It's,
great.
it's just you need to eliminate it. Essentially, I think that's why we have. Because it's ingrained in us to do it naturally. That's why we do it day to day in this modern era. It's just this modern era. It's not about surviving, fighting each other. It's ego.
We are finding success. We're here to break the monotony of your life and help you find your version of success. Welcome back to another episode, guys, with me, Adam.
And me, Alex.
How you doing, mate? You're right.
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Good. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. This week, guys, we're going to talk about quite a big subject. We're going to talk about comparison. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, positive, negative, why we do it, why we don't do it, what we should do, why we necessarily don't do it sometimes.
Adam, what are we comparing? Are we comparing the markets?
We're going to talk about personal comparison.
Self-comparison.
Yeah, self-comparisons.
Now everyone's on the same page.
That's right. Bang. Yeah, so basically, Alex has got a nice story to start it off with. I think you're going to bang that story out, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I think it's a great starter. And let's go into conversation. Pure. We had a topic lined up for today's podcast, but he's already set it up, so we're just going to go with this instead. Because I thought it's a great story.
I don't like you at all. So, as I was saying, I've been out of the country a little bit, and I've not been training properly for a few months, realistically.
Bear in mind, before you go into this, just give people some of your background in your personal health and personal journey, sort of when you used to train, how often you used to train.
Okay. So, up until about the beginning of this year. So, this year's been the exception. Before this year, I'd be training good 5 to 6 days a week, good couple hours every day. It'd be 2 sessions a day. Sometimes it'd be a run in the morning, gym session in the afternoon. It was hardcore. I was in quite good shape.
Yeah, you were.
I was very physically fit, I believe. And this year's sort of, it's been different. New 9 to 5. Traveling has been insane. Like I think it was the first 5 months of the year, I'd been out of the country for about 3.5.
Crazy, man.
Which is a great excuse, but it's also terrible because you can still go for a run wherever you are in the world. There's no excuse, but it was the one I used at the time, and it's the one I've been using up until now.
Yeah.
And now I've had enough, and as you'll see, something's coming up in the future about getting back on track. But literally the first few days recently, coming up to it and smashing the gym out, trying to get back into it. And as I'm sure you guys know, training, when you've been in really good condition and you try and get back to that condition quickly, it's hard.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be able to do it.
right.
I've had basically 6 months off of training,
Yeah.
and you can lose a lot in that time. And it will come back quick, I'm sure, muscle memory and all that. But I've lost a lot quick in a short period of time. So I'm in the gym for the first time in a long time. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting back into it. Really enjoying it. And I'm training chest. And I don't train chest so often. Doing the CrossFit training I do, there's no bench pressing. There's no.
It's not an isolated muscle group, is it?
yeah,
It's a
spot on.
majority of all your muscle groups that you use.
Spot on.
Yeah.
For the last few years, 2 years or so, since 2020, I've been doing predominantly CrossFit training. Before then, it was more bodybuilding where you would do the isolated exercises, etc.
Yeah.
But now it's more CrossFit. But I've started to work in the bodybuilding side now as well, because I really do enjoy it. It's good fun.
I love isolating certain body types and just
Pushing them.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's great.
a great feeling.
Yeah.
So, as I'm in the gym. There's a few other people there. I found a bench, jump on the bench, and I start warming up my chest. Bearing in mind, I've done like a warm up on a bike, and I've done my dips in the corner because I like to do like body weight compound exercises first,
Yeah,
just
nice.
to get really warm and ready to go. And because I'm slightly heavier than normal, I need to train my body to get used to me being this heavy. So,
Yeah.
body weight exercises, like compound ones, great exercise to start off with. Head over to the bench, and there's a few people in the gym. I pick up my warm up weights. 12 kilos, I don't know what it is in pounds, like 25 pound
Yeah.
to Americans. Not a lot, really lightweight. Start warming up, going up the rack. And then I go, and I'm starting to realise, can't do as many reps as I used to be able to do. But the guy I am, I go straight to the weights I used to do, 30 kilo dumbbells. And I try and do the same amount of reps as I used to do back in the day. I couldn't do 5 reps. I was really struggling. And I was like, mate, why have I done that? Probably did more damage than I did good.
Yeah.
And I dropped the weights and I looked around and I realised it was my ego. I think I picked up those weights because of my ego. There was quite a in-shape lad just the other side of the dumbbells, boxing on a bag, getting really aggressive, and it's a show of dominance in it in a way, just boxing out on a bag. Even though it's not, he's just training. But in
your eyes,
human nature, he's someone being aggressive is not a threat, but
he's powerful. He's an alpha.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, there's a couple of girls in the gym at the same time. They're on the treadmills at the back. They're just watching all this going on, and so I think that was in the back of my head the whole time I was at the bench. Instead of focusing on just doing me and doing what's best for me, this scenario was in the back, had loud music on in my head, and just all added up to me lifting too heavy and ego lifting, basically trying to compete with people that there was no competition to even start with. And I think that. Basically that's the story to begin the episode with.
Do you know what? It's such a common thing that, like in the gym, that happens all the time, in my opinion, because it's happened to me, and it's happened like for me, and it's happened to me. I was a person that was trying to lift heavier, and I was a person that was just training, but I spotted someone trying to lift heavier because I was lifting heavier. So I think it was literally a few days ago, I was in the gym, and I think it was on the bench press machine, and where my gym was, we've got 3 or 4 racks, and then we've got a Smith machine at the end. And I was on the final bench next to the Smith machine. And the guy was like, I've seen him in the gym all the time. He's just a regular guy. And the weights he do, he just takes a long period of time to go through sets. He smashes them out, and he's been there. He's keeping it consistent. He's doing a mega job on what he's doing and how his body's transformed. But he saw me doing, I think I'm not going heavy into numbers. I was repping 60 or 70 on the bench press, just sort of finishing that, because I'm not a strong person. I'm not lifting to improve myself. I'm just lifting because I like to do it. And I was just finishing off the final reps, and he jumped on the Smith machine. And rather than sort of warming up, which I know he always does because I've seen him do that workout routine, he just jumped on there and smashed like two 20s on, like one each side, and then a 5 to try and match my weight. And bear in mind, he's only walked into the gym. I saw him walk in the gym, and he jumped on that machine straight away because obviously he was doing chest, but he just, rather than warming up, he's like, right, someone's next to me, I've got to compete. And so he does like 1 or 2 really clean reps. And I was like, mega, that's good for you, lad. And then he gets to the third one, and he's really, really struggling to get it up, and he has to drop it halfway. And obviously with this machine, you have to sort of took it over.
Yes.
And then he gets to me, he's like, phew. And obviously I'll walk away at this point, I'm on to my next exercise. And you can kind of see him like looking around and see if anyone noticed what has gone on. And then he dropped the weight off and put his one weight on. So it's really weird how you don't realise that you're doing it, but it happens.
Yeah.
And it happens every day. Somewhere in the gym, day-to-day life, Instagram, it happens all the time. So when you compare yourself to others, it's actually, people say, I don't compare myself to anyone. You do. No matter what happens, and if you say you don't, I think you're a liar, because everyone does compare themselves to someone. They just do. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we do that?
It's human nature.
Yeah.
We can't help ourselves. It's built into us to... It's a fight or flight part of our human nature.
Yeah, nice.
We need to have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, shelter, water, all of those. After that, it's social influence.
Yeah.
It's our social hierarchy. And the higher up in the...
social train that we are.
Exactly. Yeah, the more important you feel, the more important you feel, the more secure your own life, and so on and so forth. So when you see someone or perceive someone as doing better than you, i.e. lifting heavier or in better shape or driving a nicer car than you think immediately they're higher up on the food chain than you are.
Yeah.
When actually we just know it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
And we need to forget about that. We need to look back at what we've been trying to learn all this time, and it's goals. Like, we don't drive particularly flash cars.
No.
Because we don't choose to. We don't want to waste... It's a waste of money to us. Yeah. That's our perspective of it. Whereas for other people, it's not. And it's again, it's just that comparison.
Yeah, great.
It's just... You need to eliminate it, essentially. I think that's why we have... because it's ingrained in us to do it naturally. Well, that's why we do it day to day in this modern era. It's just this modern era. It's not about surviving, fighting each other. It's ego.
Yeah, it's about ego or competing in some other way that we can, or we can try to. Like, for instance, when the worst thing and the most common thing, I think, around this stigma of money, like invest in trading, so on and so forth. Come and learn with me, and you can earn 100 pips a day, and it's guaranteed. 100 pips a day is never guaranteed because the market never does the same thing as what it did yesterday. So you can't ever guarantee the same thing. So that's complete and utter. But someone says, well, hang on a minute. He's putting across that he can teach people for 100 pips a day. I'm going to do 110 pips a day. And then that person sees that and goes, well, hang on a minute. He must be, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to go 110 or 115 just to make it that one step better than that person. Because they want to compete for the business. They're competing for themselves. They're competing to be the better person out of the two. And you see in everyday business, for instance, this is a bit out of blue, but Holland and Barrett and Boots, like the two completely different stores and stuff. But for instance, say if Boots put a sale on, Holland and Barrett will put 25%, and then Boots will go 30%, and then they go 35%, and then they're done like buy one and get one for the penny. Do you know what I mean? So they'd always compete against themselves, or companies compare, and it's the same with humans.
Yeah.
Same thing, nature. We're always trying to compete and compare. So, like you said, we just need to shut it off and compete by ourselves. It's me versus me. It's you versus you. Every single day.
That's it. Block out the world.
And then when you realise, actually, hang on, I'm not looking to compare myself. I'm looking to improve myself. Then you can kind of focus on your own journey. However, this is where it gets awkward. I'm going to ask you this question. Is it always a bad thing to compare yourself to others?
No.
Nah, I agree.
Definitely not. I was going to say, don't stop it completely.
No. You shouldn't do at all.
No. You just got to be in control of it.
Yeah.
That's the key, being in control of it. So again, looking back when I was in my, like, I would say peak shape. No, not peak shape. That was a few years ago. But better shape than I am this year. I would quite happily go to a bench if I was training chest and rep empty bars, warm up. I had my structure. I knew what I was going to do, and I was content with that.
Yeah.
I'd go and do it. I wouldn't be looking elsewhere in the gym because I was very happy with where I was and where I was going. The times I would compare myself is in the box, in the CrossFit box, when we're doing a WOD, when we're working out and I'm racing the guy next to me.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, man.
The competition,
Yeah.
that's comparison is what I like.
Yeah.
If he's able to do burpees faster than me, I'm like, damn, I need to work on my burpees. That's where I'm lacking.
Yeah.
So there was a fantastic workout not too long ago. It was like, it was a 400 meter run, I think 10 wall balls and then 10 clean and jerks, or 10 cleans. And I'm a horrendous runner because I haven't run in so long.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'm not going to try and compete with these guys running. There was some runners in this class. They'd done the full 400 before I'd done like 50.
Yeah.
Gone down the road. But these same people can't do wall balls and clean a barbell like me because it's a heavy barbell, to be fair. And I just knew, pace myself at the beginning, wait for the workout, wait for that barbell to get lifted.
Yeah.
And I would start my run at roughly the same time as those runners would start again because they were knackered from doing the wall balls. The wall balls aren't hard, the squat, chuck the ball above your head. They weren't hard. They would beat me off them because they started before me. But by the time I'd finished my barbell set, 10 reps, they would finish theirs because it was too heavy for them.
Yeah.
And we'd be on equal ground again. So I just knew that was my...
You'll catch up.
Yeah. So I was comparing myself during the workout, constantly comparing, constantly keeping an eye on them to just help myself.
Compete,
Yeah. Because competition is important.
Yeah.
Just like you said for Holland and Barrett and Boots, you need to be able to compete.
Yeah.
If you're not competitive, you might not get that customer.
You
might
can get
not
priced out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it's a fine line, isn't it? It's just
It
being
is,
aware
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
good and the evil. of
I think, like
comparison.
you said, when you're in the gym and you go by yourself, for yourself, it's you versus you. When you're in a class and you're doing a WOD or you're doing a workout and it's as a group of people and you've kind of go like, you look down the line, you can see that these people are better in some aspects, worse in others. Now I'm going to set my game up because now I can recover here and work harder here. This is where you kind of then look to compete because, as you said, competition is healthy. We need to compete. This is where we're going to win.
And by doing that comparison during the workout, I was able to beat a lot of them because
Yeah.
I just knew when to push and when not to. So, and then that gave me euphoria and endorphins, and I was on cloud nine for a little bit.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, that's what we need to chase occasionally as
Yeah.
humans. We do need that.
But not only have you done yourself a favour, you've also done a person that you beat a favour.
Yeah.
Because now they can go away and go, well, I'm terrible at lifting or cleaning, but I'm good at running.
Yeah.
But Alex is terrible at running, but good at cleaning. So what I've got to do, I've got to improve my weightlifting game.
That's it.
So they now
That's
go
it.
and work on their clean game. and you can go and work on your running game, and hopefully the competition will just improve, and you'll both progress.
And this is what we had a conversation about at the end. I spoke to a couple of the lads, and we were saying, we just discussed it. We were like, damn, I thought I had you. The first run, I was gone. And there with the barber, and we were just discussing it and helping each other.
Yeah.
And you just raise each other up. That's what I love about that environment, because you just raise each other.
And it's the same when you're in an accountability group, or when you're in a group of people or a community, or when you work in a group of people. For instance, if they've done a job faster than you and you're in a time constraint, you want to know how they've done that job. How did you do that so fast? What did you do? Where's the shortcuts? How did you get around doing it? And you kind of, if they're a nice person, which 9 times out of 10 they probably are.
Yep.
Oh, here you go. This is how you do it. Do this, and this is a bit faster. Mega, thanks, mate. And it comes to the same game with trading or investing. How did you get so you learn so fast? Well, I learned through Finding Success because they're just a great bunch of people. Do you know what I mean? And listen to the podcast, and you're just days and nights ahead above everyone else.
Exactly.
So this is where you kind of, the good competition and comparison comes to it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. It's what we say, comparison is a theft of joy. If you look at it the wrong way, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Look at it the right way, with the correct mindset, it's so powerful.
So I think going forward, one thing you can sort of always not correct your ego, but kind of be aware of how you're working out is, one, if you're doing something for yourself, by yourself, focus on nothing else but yourself. If you're working as a team, as an accountability group, if you're working in a workout together, if you're doing something together with companions, if it's not a team, then it's you versus them. And if it is a team, then it's you can help them and they can help you.
Spot on. There was a extreme ownership book right here on YouTube. You better read it. Podcast guys, you won't be able to hear it, see it. But he goes on about leading, and how one of the best ways to lead is, say if you're in an office full of people, you get everyone's ideas first. You've asked this question. Instead of giving, most managers go, right, this is what I think we need to do, and we'll go down that route. Yeah. Because everyone goes, yes, sir, that's a great idea, boss. Yeah. We'll do that. Best thing to do is get everyone's ideas and discuss. Yeah. Find, and as a team, then work out. Because then you've not got people on your board or on your team just kissing the ring, going, yes, you're right, because you're the best, you're the boss, you pay my
bills or whatever. Yeah.
You get the groups, basically the group will work together, they'll combine and just build something great from that. Yeah. That's what the best leaders do. And that's their I had a great link to how that linked to comparison, and I've completely forgotten about it. It's gone blank. But I've lost it. Where's it gone?
It's the best way to build a business, the best way to run a business, the best way to sort of, like I said, overcome a problem.
Overcome a problem, yeah, exactly.
It's gone.
It's gone, mate. Yep. We need to go back to comparison again, because I've forgotten.
As you said, it's funny because I've never actually read Jocko's book. But just doing that, and if you haven't read the book, and if you're that type of person that will go around a group of people that work for you and say, John, we're going in tonight, we're going to attack so-and-so, we need to come and pull this person out of this office or whatever. What's the best way of doing it? Here's the options. Here's the door we go in. Here's the windows. Here's how many guards are going to be guarding it. How do we get through it? Well, and they're going to give you a little strategy. Mega. Thanks, mate. I'll consider it. You go to Barry Biggers. Barry Biggers is around the corner. Barry, what do you think? And if he's the same as John, mega, they're on the same wavelength. You go to Johnny Davidson. Johnny Davidson comes over. He says the same thing. Mega, on the same boat. And if he's not, if it's on a different, maybe, well, actually, that's quite a good idea, because then we can avoid this, or we can work around it. Then you go to Stevie. Stevie says a similar sort of thing, but very different in some other ways. So you then pull those ideas together. You go, right, team come in, and you go, look, we've all come up with great ideas, but I think this is one of the best ways that we can do it. What do you guys think? If you think it works best, we'll go with it. If it doesn't, let's revise it.
I remembered my link.
Perfect.
So it was, you compare yourself to the others in your team. So Stevie, John, Johnny Davidson, you compare yourselves and you find out what are their strengths, what are they better at than you.
Yeah.
And you use those strengths, add them to your strengths, get your team strengths together, and it's like a rocket ship.
It's quite funny. So going back to Jocko, his podcast, I think it was like 340. Yeah. Got a guy on there called Tim Kennedy. He's like a UFC fighter. He was like a fireman, a policeman, so on and so forth. He's done loads of stuff. And basically, he went into the army, and he wasn't selected to go for a mission. Someone else was chose over him. And this is one of the greatest lessons to anyone. So what they've done is the chief or captain or said, right, okay, get your gloves on and we'll have a fight out. We'll fight it out. We'll see who wins. So they turn up. He's thinking, I'm just going to fight this guy. I'm going to knock him out because he's skinny, he's useless, he can't run very well. But I can beat him. So they turn up. What he thought was he was going to fight 1v1. What he failed to realise is that he was going to fight him versus the team. Because he didn't think that the team were going to fight him. He was just going to be that one person. Because obviously, he wasn't selected for the team. But the team were going as a team. So he was just getting, he took a couple of people on. But obviously, after 10 guys, you're pretty tired. So then he was getting beat the hell out of. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then he realised he actually got taught a massive lesson. Well, actually, as a team, of course they're going to overpower me. Of course they are, as you said. They've got strengths and weaknesses. That person might be good or might be worse in running and fighting, but he might be better in solving problems and figure or using a specific gun or something. So, as you said, it's about comparing as a team. That's quite important.
Definitely.
Quite important.
Find your strengths. You compare yourselves against each other. Find your strengths. Use them together. Same as an individual or with your accountability partner. Find your strengths. If Adam's a god at getting up in the morning, and I come to you regularly for what am I doing wrong? I need to work on this. And you gave me the idea of putting my phone across the room. I think we discussed it in another podcast. And now I can get up whenever I want. You need to look for others for their strengths, and that comparison is healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worthwhile using.
Yeah, there you go. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, links will be down below. Get listening, get sharing. Hope you enjoy it. Take care. Have a good week. Smash it. Bye-bye. Success is available for everyone, so why should you settle for less?